So paying for college can be scary and confusing. I hope this video helps lessen those feelings and gives you some helpful information. If you haven't decided yet, or even if you do know which college you'll be attending, you should know the cost. Be sure to check with the admissions and financial aid office at your institution for your actual costs. Remember, tuition isn't the only amount to look for. You also need to know the cost of room and board and any additional fees. Also know that books are a separate amount not included in these costs. So here is a general example of an aid award breakdown that you should receive from your selected school. It should have three areas of breakdown. First is the actual cost of tuition and fees, or your total annual or semesterly amount owed. Make sure room and board and additional fees are included in this area so that you do have the actual total. Again, books will not be included here. Second, it should show the breakdown of all aid you have been awarded. Again, they usually show you the annual amount, so you have to remember this amount is divided in half to go toward each semester. And third, any balance that shows means that you will have to pay for that out of pocket or obtain additional funding. So the first step to getting financial aid is completing the FAFSA. FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. Make sure when you go to complete the FAFSA, you are at the correct site, which is fafsa.ed.gov. You have to complete the FAFSA every year. You can do this starting October 1 of each year, and you want to be sure to fill out as early as possible, as many aid sources are first come, first serve. You and your parents will also need to set up your FSA ID. You and your parents each need one. This is basically how you electronically sign your FAFSA. You will need taxes. Basically, you will need taxes from 2 years prior to the year you are applying. So completing the FAFSA is the single application source for most aid. All federal aid is awarded based on this information, as is most state aid, especially in Kentucky. Other scholarship and third parties such as UPS require you to have completed the FAFSA before they will pay. The state of Kentucky does have limited funding for their state awards, therefore this is a prime example of filing the FAFSA early. You may qualify for a state grant, but it is not necessarily guaranteed to receive, regardless of eligibility. The FAFSA determines your eligibility for various types of aid. These are shown here, and we will discuss throughout the presentation. So some of these aid programs are specifically from the federal government. Here is a list, but I will go through most of these in the presentation as well. Key things to pay attention to are loans. You have to repay these and cannot bankrupt student loans down the road, so they will be with you forever. Borrow wisely. Look at interest rates, when interest begins to accrue, when loans must be repaid. And please borrow only what you need. You will have to sign a promissory note and do loan training at your school. In these next few slides, I will briefly explain the various types of aid. I will start with grants. Colleges, states, and the federal government all give out grants, which usually do not have to be paid back, but they are not free money. You must complete all requirements in order to not pay grants back. You must maintain SAP, or Satisfactory Academic Progress, which basically is you must be enrolled in a minimum of 6 credit hours in your selected course of study and attend, stay enrolled in, and pass all of your classes. Your financial aid office at your college will explain SAP more fully. Again, eligibility for state grants does vary. You may be eligible for a state grant, but if they run out of funding, you will not receive it for that year. Professional judgments and work study are ways to assist you get more money. If you have a special situation, you can ask this individual college to work with you and do a professional judgment. Check out the individual school's financial aid office for assistance, as all colleges require different documentation. Work study positions are part-time jobs on campus or closely nearby that are funded through your financial aid. You must have submitted a FAFSA to qualify. Work study positions do pay the student directly for work completed and is an hourly wage. The government allows you to work up to 20 hours per week, as they want you to be a student first. Be sure and check out the pros of work study on this slide. If you do end up having to pay out of pocket towards your tuition and room and board, then private loans may be an option. Make sure you always borrow federal student loans first before you borrow private loans. Once you've exhausted all federal options, compare offers from multiple private lenders to find the lowest interest rate and best conditions. You can apply for private loans through various entities such as these listed. So there are scholarships. Many of you probably have earned academic, athletic, and service-oriented scholarships from your selected schools, the community, or even Fern Creek. These are great as you do not have to pay them back, but you do have to meet their requirements to maintain. As well, there are thousands of free private scholarships from companies, nonprofits, and other community groups. Some examples are shown here. And remember, Kia website is a great source. There are other easy ways to save some money, such as tax credits. See your tax preparer about these credits and how you qualify, and see your college as they can also help you with required documentation. There are also third-party payers, veterans benefits, and waivers. Third-party means your tuition is paid by an employer, an agency like vocational rehab, or some other type of outside agency. You need to confirm these payments with appropriate documentation to your college. Veterans benefits are for those students who are in the military or their parents served in the military. Check with your college for assistance, as several of these benefits are shown here, but they will have most information for you. Waivers means a portion or all of your tuition is waived. There are institutional, state, and federal waivers. If you do receive a waiver, they do not have to be repaid. There are some federal and state examples of waivers shown here. There are other ways to save money or obtain funding. One other way is called 15 to finish. First, double check with your school's registrar office to make sure your school doesn't charge you by the credit hour. If they do, then this is probably not an option. However, if they do not, and unless you are only allowed by your schedule or by your finances to go part-time, try to go full-time and take at least 15 credit hours each semester. As shown, this will help you save money in many ways. Also, make sure you know the courses that you need to graduate and meet with your advisor often to map out a plan to earn your degree on time. So frankly, it is never too early to start planning. You will want to plan out the next 4 years and make sure you have funding for all of your education, not just this first year. Key things are to pay attention to dates and deadlines so you do not incur additional fees or worse. Be sure to research ahead of time any new scholarships to apply for and know their requirements and deadlines for application. And take advantage of the free services on the internet like the Kia website, which is there for all your financial planning, and they also have great resources to help you with funding college and more. If you are a student that will be going to a Kentucky school, you want to make sure you are using the Kia website, as they are the ones who award and disperse any kind of aid coming from the state of Kentucky. They will send your award to the financial aid office of your selected school for disbursement. It also lists and explains the different types of Kentucky aid and is a great resource for obtaining additional information and additional aid. Even if you are going out of the state of Kentucky for school, this is a great resource for everyone. So that's it. I know that was a lot of information really quick, but be sure to print the video slides, as they will be a great tool to look back on, especially the information about the links and other resources. Both the FAFSA and Kia websites and your college site have a wealth of information to assist with paying for college. Good luck in all that you do, and don't forget, you will always be a Fern Creek Tiger, and we are here to help you even after you graduate.